Hello everyone, thank you all so much for waiting. I'm Isaac Umbras, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody, welcome JB, for GT. Here's Buddy Courage, welcome everybody, hope you're all doing well. Let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? We had a couple races done. Fish, welcome Katomi. Fish. I actually had fish for dinner, funnily enough. I made some fried catfish po' boys. So, you know, not bad. But anyway, we're gonna be doing a little bit more one-make races today. We're getting in the Audi, we're getting in the Quattro. And let's make sure we get a few adjustments here. Yeah, okay, that's already been purchased. That's already been purchased as well. That's been purchased too. Let's get the intercooler. A little bit of extra power. Can't hurt, right? And let's get the... Oh yeah, we don't need it. We don't need that much. We don't need that much. Okay, we are golden. Jeez, okay, we got a lot of upgrades already. Welcome Bloodwolf, hope you're well. I hope we didn't already do the tourist. We did already do the tourist trophy. Alright, never mind then. That means we are one step ahead of ourselves. So we're gonna cars interior already. Yes. We do have the pink Vitz. So let's do the Vitz race then. Let's do the Vitz race. Get the turbo kit in. Stage. And hang on. Yeah, we want the stage 2 to start out with. This will be enough for the beginner league Vitz race. What is this deal? I need my things. It's because I was mental. I know you showed me some pictures of that. Someone sent it 3 wide into the hairpin. Absolute melon. Gotta love melons. Melons are the best. Nom 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 nom. Tasty melons. Alright, but let's do the beginner league Vitz race. And then right from there, we will go on to professional league. We're up against some of the fastest Vitz you will ever see. It'll be fun. Watermelon, keep me company. Dang, okay, they got some good speed in the beginner league already. We're faster though. We got this. Bye bye. Everybody say bye bye to the other Vitzes. Chat say bye bye. I say that they'll actually keep pace. Like they're surprisingly quick in the championship. Even in the beginner league. Professional league, you need a pretty solidly tuned Vitz to really give them the difficulty. Adachi, welcome. I was here, gave it like when I already started. Yeah, sorry, I was actually on time for once. So we get to start to have a little bit of fun. The Yaris army being led by the pink Vitz. Also, Windows did an update, which is also why I'm having slight issues. And then, but the update, it fixed the issue of my controller acting like a mouse. It no longer does that, so I'm very happy. Something of the specs spot. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Looking like a Sierra. I had like 4 city cars in the first hour. I think my first stint, I only did 8 laps. The rest, gee, for that, for only 20 cars, I'm kind of glad I didn't compete that. And that sounds like they were extra anal and obnoxious about it. That doesn't sound fun. Oh, someone spun. You have, even though no one's around, you have to make sure you make sure you're okay with us so that we can actually let you drive. Alright, bro, we got a license for that turbo forward drive. Yeah. A lot of crashes in hour 1. There's only 20 cars! Probably even less. How do you have that many crashes with 20 cars? It's Spa, for Christ's sakes. Like, I can maybe expect that if it was, like, a tighter, more technical circuit. But it's Spa. Spa's so wide. Like, how do you manage to be absolutely that bad of a... I say that, the endurance race I didn't set that much better. I tried to slow down to avoid an incident and someone completely rear-ended me and punted me into the wall. I managed to go a lap down and work my way back up to 8th place overall in that race in only 2.5 hours. So I'm pretty proud of that performance, actually. What was the bad thing? Hey, look, if it looks alright from the outside, that's probably the the biggest thing you gotta worry about. That'll wait for a mod. That'll wait for a mod. By the way, it's a solid design. Looks good. I see the GTA 6 news. Yep, the delay. We have a year and 1 month of GTA 6, according to current Rockstar games and everything. Oh well. I'm still not pre-ordering. I'm still not. It'll be out when it'll be out, and I might buy it a little bit later than when it's out. I'm not buying on release day. I have sworn off release day purchases. I have sworn off release day purchases. I ain't getting messed with. Spun off and poo on every. Oh my gosh. Who he? Which he? Oh, so game, this is pointless. I mean, people were expecting, you know, no issues, no delays. It's a Rockstar Games production. GTA 5 was delayed multiple times. Red Dead Redemption 2 was delayed multiple times. I was kind of expecting a delay. Even if they hadn't been announced it, I was expecting a delay. Oh. Every lap. Jeez. That's fun. Like, you think you learn after the first couple of spins or have done some practice, but I guess not. The engine is related to the minivan. Oh, cool. Get to reuse some of the assets and everything. Get to platform share and all that. Save money while still building a Group B car. Alright, good stuff so far. The nice chill warm-up races just to get ourselves acquainted with the Vitz, and then we go to the professional league where we get to actually like work our ass off. Ah, fun. Do people not like test and check their hardware or have like backups in case of that stuff going wrong? Like, you know, repair kits, all of that stuff. Like, you're doing a 6-hour endurance race, but I guess I over prep. 600 horsepower minivan. All right. That's quite a lot for the 80s, but GG. Oh wait, the Group B rally car makes it the 660. Oh, that's pretty good then. So that's higher than even the Audi Quattro. Not bad, not bad. All right, come on, race 2. Only a couple corners left. See, I've not actually played a Red Dead Redemption game yet. I should. I've played the GTA games. I've played a lot of the other Rockstar games. I've not actually played a Red Dead Redemption game. So, I probably should. I probably should sometime. That'd be fun. I don't know, I always prefer like my open world games to be more like modern day and everything. Or at least semi-modern. I've always I always had a more of a preference towards, you know, the sci-fi or modern times versus sword and shield type of stuff. I do not have Red Dead Revolver actually. The master spin at Blanchemont. Alright, so how long after the spin did they finally let you actually start driving again? You know, the massive runoff Spa has. You know, you think, okay, yeah, you can, as long as you can rejoin safely, like, they don't need to stop the race. You can filter back in normally. Nope, okay, everyone's safety car. That totally won't result in more crashes. I'm kind of glad I didn't do the race then. It sounded like it was run by people who care more about moralism than actual racing. So they did basically they did the minivan engine because they could. Not bad, pretty cool. There we go, up into the lead. They have a second place, semi-pink Vitz, but we are the pinkest Vitz. Their Vitz is not nearly as pink as ours. Our glorious pink Vitz will be the fastest in all the land. Come on, come on. Down a couple gears. I want to see what it can reach on the straights. It's only got a 5-speed. So gonna be down a little bit on power. Oh, they made a groupie movement. Nice. I mean, if you already have some of the running gear and everything from the... to the, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, they did it as a publicity stunt, but publicity stunt actually won races. Sweet. Ah, fun. And again, paper. Okay, so they basically just like, okay, well, we already have a success. Let's build a race car then. Nice, nice. P19 to P11 in 2 laps. Yeah, I'm so glad I missed this event. They seem... They seem like they care more about moralism than actually having good racing. So I'm kind of glad I missed it. The AI is starting to get annoyed. Nah, it's all right. We can easily beat the AI. They can get annoyed as much as they want. I don't know. I wouldn't call 8 laps in 85 minutes of actual racing good racing. Like with only 20 cars, unless it was like a massive pileup. Having that many safety cars and virtual safety cars and everything else seems like a waste of everyone's time. It just, I don't know. See, when I sign up to do sim racing, I want to do racing. you know, not follow the leader, safety car queue, you know, that type of hand-holdy rubbish. They overcomplicate for a system that's not designed to have that type of stuff. And it definitely shows. Ah, no, oh no, they might ban me from the server for talking bad about the way they run things. Oh well. Yeah, the Mustang's fast. Like, the Merc, to be fair, the Merc is quite slow in the like, long straights. So having that pace difference between basically the fastest straight line speed, GT3 cars, and the slower, one of the slower in the straight line GT3 cars, it does kind of show. Oh, the AI generated YouTube videos. Yeah, those are kind of iffy. It is one of the things just kind of have to deal with for our generation. I'm terrified to see what the supercar is then. Well, best of luck with making that. Yeah, Laguna Seca is honestly one of the better tracks of the Mercedes as well. I really like that one because the low mid-speed corners, the Merc just has the rotation and the braking, and the acceleration is just top notch as well. Like those tracks are really fun in the Mercedes. Zandvoort, it's kind of iffy because the Merc in mid-high speed corners, where you're not really braking, or in most other vehicles you're not really braking because the downforce will carry you, it's kind of dog water. It's a little bit of an understeery pig. Mainly the final turn and that high-speed banked right. Valencia is really good. Valencia is really good. Hi, ow. Can you not, you melon? But yeah, like the Valencia is really good. Hey, upscaling. Unfortunately, you gotta take the good with the bad, you know, with that type of stuff. We are not really in a major position to be like, okay, here's where we can use it, here's where we can't. It's kind of, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it is the nature of the beast. Best thing you do is just vote with your time, vote with your wallets, vote with your clicks. All of that stuff. Yeah, pit stops are key at Valencia. Pit stops are absolutely key at Valencia because of the short laps and everything. You want to either like really overcut or undercut. And you gotta make sure you manage your tires really well as well, because Valencia absolutely murders tires. Between the high temperatures that the races frequently have, or, you know, the heavy cornering loads and abrasive surface, Valencia absolutely murders tires. So that is always fun. That is always fun, racing at Valencia. Valencia is one of my favorites. That's definitely top 5 tracks in ACC, and I'm looking forward to the next time we do a race at Valencia. Maybe a V2.4 there would be pretty cool. To be fair, you shouldn't have cold tires in a GT3 because of the tire blankets. Like, you should be able to, you know, exit the pits, and within like a couple corners, they should be up to temp or pretty close to it. $500 horsepower in the 60s. That's a bit high for that technology, but alright. Good stuff. What was the track temp in the last stints? How bad did they mess this up? I know it was 6 hours, but like, it's noon to 6. Like, the track's not gonna cool off that much. according to ACC. 14, okay. I mean, you should still be able to have, like, your tires and everything like that properly temps. Like, the highest I got was 19 in the practice servers, so you should have been able to run more closed brake ducts and been fine. Yeah, so you guys should have been able to adapt then. That's only a 3 degrees difference. That's nothing major. Oh, right, hang on a second. I gotta put on software for this one. Gotta put it on software mode because hardware mode, it has hardware mode, the lights like to jump out at us and everything. 4-degree track temps. That is high. That is very high. I think the highest track temps I've seen in ACC was in the upper 30s for a Bathurst race. That was fun. That was for one of the TGT races. Air temps were like in the upper 20s. Track temps were like in the upper 30s. Everyone was slipping and sliding everywhere. There was no traction. Tires were dying. So that was an interesting race. That was an interesting experience. I quite enjoyed it because I did pretty well there, actually. I think I finished 3rd in silver. This was back when they still had the bronze, silver, and pro classification. But yeah, like it was pretty good. It was an enjoyable experience. It was my first time at Bathurst as well, in an actual league race. I think the max track temp would be, I think it's around like 40 or 42 degrees. Something like that. Alright, good luck with the Spectre, man. Hopefully it turns out well. Alright, pretty solid run now. I'm kind of scared to see just how much more difficult the professional league is, especially because we're in the professional league. They do have the test course, the giant high-speed oval for the freaking Yaris of all vehicles. So that is gonna be very, very fun. Awesome, thank you, I appreciate that. Gosh, I wish I made more of those po' boys. Those po' boys are absolutely delicious. I made even a homemade remoulade sauce with mayo, sriracha Dijon mustard, and some finely minced jalapeno, all mixed together. Spread on some toasted rolls with a pan-fried catfish, shredded lettuce, and finely diced tomatoes. And that was tasty. That was very tasty. I enjoyed that a lot. Track temp is 46 degrees. All right. That is toasty. That is very toasty. Also, apparently servers are down again. Servers are down again. Gotta love ACC spaghetti code. All right, give me the car. Give me the car. So many options. At least it's not pink. We got a burnt sienna Toyota Vitz. All right, so we got the Tesla, Legend of Silver Arrow, Beetle Cup. So only 3 more championships, 3 more series in the beginner league. Not bad, not bad. We have a solid run going on that. Yeah, I saw that the blue, white, and black. Very, very nice. what he's shooting as well. Hopefully he comes to grips with the car and everything. There we go. Alright, let's get the brakes upgraded. Alright, easy. Let's get some power now. Hopefully teach him well. It is a tricky car to master. But it's still something that can, you know, be mastered as well. You got a lot of good options with the Merc and everything. A lot of good learning tools. Alright, let's reduce the weight as well. Get this thing absolutely ready for the professional league. And it is going to be fun. Pushing up Morris. Yeah, he'd be a good one to have on the team as well. Although you gotta be careful with him. His work schedule might be a little bit tricky with him doing you know, military stuff and everything. Just a heads up. Like, nothing against him, just, you know, do take that into consideration as well when you are you helping him out and everything. Things may be a little bit more up in the air for him. Ooh, all the long course. All the long courses. Alright. $10-liter V60. I don't think that would fit in anything. It'd be a great, like, demonstration engine though. But I'm not sure that would fit in anything. That would be a very tricky engine to get actually working in anything. Right. Go back to the software, the hardware render. Oh, it looks so much better in hardware render. The upscaling and everything that it does. Shit, maybe. Uh-oh. The cat's got the zoomy face. Nah, my bean was a cuddly bean today. I took a little bit of a rest after this, doing a bit of work this morning. And she curled up next to me in bed. I'm like, aw, she's a cute kitty. Absolutely adorable kitty. Oh, we need a lot more speed. We need a lot more straight line speed. Nice, look forward to seeing his livery as well. Best of luck with him in the TGT series. You did a Renault Espace engine swap. Very nice. Oh, right. Let's actually put on the music. And we're gonna need to adjust the gear ratios after this race. We should still be able to be fine. But we will eventually need to adjust the gear ratios for things like test course. As well as Special Stage Route 11. Both of those will be a tricky one for us. Also, jeez, these guys are fast. Thankfully, we got plenty of laps, so we should be able to last longer than them. But the lack of straight line speed on this is going to be a little bit difficult. We're going to have to basically make up everything on the corner exits and on the second half of the course, where it's a lot more tighter and technical. But on the main straights, we are gonna be basically bouncing out the rev limiter a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more spa practice as well. Welcome not. I am in the pink Vitz. We are in the professional league Vitz race. And we have some tough competition ahead of us. I think I need to do a little bit of vehicle adjustments at the start of the next race to get this thing ready for the highest speed courses. But it'll be interesting for sure. You shouldn't be having colder tires in a GT3 and ACC. They have tire blankets. If your tires are getting cold during the opening lap, then you're doing something very wrong with the setup. It's not like iRacing where you gotta tiptoe for 5 laps before the car actually drives like a car. It's, no, you get the tire blankets. Your car is drivable. Where's the yellow Evo 5? Probably in a different race series, like the Evo series. Yeah, but for those, you at least have a full lap to reheat everything back up. Like if I remember correctly, they say in their silly rule book, oh yeah, we're gonna let you know when it's like 1 lap before, you know, we go back to green. So during that time period, that's when you do the brake dragon again. That's when you know, heat everything back up. In ACC, outside of like that situation, and even then on a reset, your tires should be warm enough. Unless it's like below 10C, your tires should not be cold in a GT3. Or like you're in dries while it's raining and you're just trying to survive then. Then, okay, yes, maybe. But like literally nowhere else will your tires, should your tires ever actually get cold in ACC. Yeah. Please tell me you didn't have them on 4. Please tell me you had them on 3 or lower. Especially the rears. Like, rears should have probably been on, like, 2. Yeah, that is way too... That is way too long. And during that time period, you're struggling, your tires are graining. Not worth it. Only your brakes might overheat ever so slightly on like 2 of like the heavy braking zones. Scale issue, brake a little bit earlier. You'll make up the time everywhere else. I'd say probably make it semi-positive. Like not full poverty spec, but like basically stripped down race car-esque. Like the few things that are designed for like the drivers should be, you know, high quality material. But they should be, like, everything else should be pretty bare bones. Kind of like the actual RS200. But yeah. Alright, we actually have a solid lead going right now. A little under a second. The rest of the AI are still keeping pace with us. This is going to be a longer one make series race with the 10 laps, but it'll be interesting. I think our tires will last up until maybe lap 7, maybe lap 8 before they start going bad. But we should be able to outlast the rest of the field because the rest of the field, the tires got up to temperature a lot quicker, which allowed them to go quicker early on. Which means we should be able to last long before we have to pit. There we go. Down into the brakes. I like how our rear tires are still like... They're just along for the ride. Like the fronts are heating up, the fronts have the grip, and then the rears are like... Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be actually, you know... doing stuff. Well, I mean, it depends on what temperature for TGT. If it's like 28C, then yeah, maybe 4 front, 3 rear. But you gotta like adjust that and do like, you know, actual like testing and everything. Basically, you should lower them as much as possible until they start to overheat in the heaviest of braking zones. Because the brakes can be a little bit warm, and that's fine. And that'll add extra temperature to your tires as well. And you know, you can reduce drag as well, which makes you go even quicker. Like, unless you're like Valencia 30°C air temperature, like you're very rarely going above like 4. Oh, a little bit of a curb there. All right, there we go. They're starting to pit in now, halfway in. Yeah, we'll probably pit around like lap 8. Yeah, I guess that might just be a quirk with automation then. I don't know. I'm not really playing much of the game, so I wouldn't be able to give you that much insight. But it could just be a quirk in the series, in that game itself. There we go. There we go. Back again to the right. Boom, shakalaka. Wait, did they actually do a vote on like the best deliveries? Okay, that's kind of adorable. Oh, they didn't. So how do you know it's the top 3 best? Oh, the one of the steward social. Okay. I mean, that's still something to be proud of, I guess. Yeah, may just be a quirk with the game then, JB. I'm not too sure. Oh well, make what you want. You're in like free mode anyways, so you can kind of build the craziest vehicles you want. It's a Miami Vice delivery. Oh, that is really cool. It has Crockett on the side. It's playing, you can already hear the synth coming out of the vehicle. Bum, 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 dun, dun. You got Sony on the other side. Oh, that'd be fun. Alright, I think this is kinda iffy. Should I pit this lap? My tires are still mostly good. I think they'll last the full race. If just barely. Oh, that's Scarface. That's Scarface for WGT. But also another kind of Miami-based 80s piece of media. Push it to the limits. Past the point of no return. Might get careless, but still you gotta learn to win it. Hit the wheel, double the sticks. The rider wide open like a bat out of hell. Where you crash the gates. Crash the gates. Also, do I also experience my wife not drinking enough water during the day? Not necessarily. That's okay. What brought on that question? That's what? That came out of nowhere. Yeah, no, hydration definitely is big. But to be fair, other like pain elsewhere can also cause stress-related hypertension, which then results in headaches as well. So it may not always be a hydration, but hydration can definitely help a little bit. But she should know better with regards to hydrations, considering she does, you know, you know, the lifting and everything. Came over. Didn't mean like. All good, all good. But yeah, no, like it could be hydration. It could be a lot of things. It could be stress related. It could be lack of sleep. It could be anything. If she's not doing nearly as much like the exercise and everything like that, she may have more screen time, which is not used to that. That may result in her getting headaches. Like her lifestyle's kind of been completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Disrupted. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. So she needs to kind of adjust accordingly. There we go. All right, we're still extending the gap to second place. So even with the tires a little bit outside of their optimum grip, they're still doing well enough that they're doing considerably better than cold tires anyway. Just in the wheelchair, can't move, and that's yes, that's probably partially then the cause of it. The frustration, the stress, probably a bit more difficult to, like, you know, sleep and everything. Those are all probably factors that are affecting her, giving her headaches and everything. Ah, such a cute Vitz. The Vitz. Down in the fourth. One more lap in the first race of the 5-race Vitz Championship. Man, okay, this is going to be a 17-minute race. I mean, this is pretty fun though. I actually like the longer races in Gran Turismo 3. I know a lot of people don't like them because they're like, oh my gosh, I tried going. But I actually really like the longer races in Gran Turismo 3 because it makes you feel like you're actually, like, you know, doing racing. You're not just, oh, okay, 2 laps, like a little sampler of a track. No, you're actually, like, you know, doing the strategy and everything like that, which I really like. I'm a little bit sad with later Gran Turismo games, just how much they kind of nerfed that, and how much shorter a lot of the races are. Like, bruh, come on, let us drive, let us have some fun. Oh, alright, wee bit of understeer there, a little bit of understeer. All good though. Alright, one more corner to go. And then we will have one in Rome. When in Rome, don't mind if I do. Cross the line. Sorry for the shit laps. Those 2 17s. Yeah, I'm sure that those were really shit laps. Uh-huh. Sure. Alright, let's adjust some settings here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Bit more top speed. I'm not sure that I wonder if that saves. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. Alright, evening race at Laguna Seca. A little bit sad when I end up missing the Laguna Seca race. But, you know, family trips and everything like that. I'll still better do the other 5 races for V-Trek and TGT. I was struggling to stay in the 221s. Yeah, I can imagine that might be a little bit tricky for you and everything. Spa's a tough track to beat quick on. The 221s still aren't terrible. That's not bad. Especially with everything else going on and the variable weather and the constant safety cars and everything messing up your rhythm. Like, yeah, that probably affected you quite a bit. Come on, give me some temperature, please. Got Suzuka. Yeah, we do. Hopefully tomorrow the practice server goes live. I want to get practicing earlier rather than later. With it being the first round of the season, I want to make sure I really kick butt. I also hope it's a dry Suzuka, especially given the fact that the Continental Circus race was very wet. I wanna make sure this one to be a dry, maybe a nice early morning Suzuka, like sunrise or like just after sunrise. Yeah. Although to be fair, if you're both doing the AMG, they're probably not that different. $6 not bad for a hot hatch. That's pretty solid. Although 1948, that's a little bit early for Group B there, isn't it? Yeah, it's not bad for you know, a performance hot hatch. Your setups are too pointy. I don't know, I always kind of found your setups a bit, this is kind of, I don't want to be mean, but I always found them not pointy enough. Very understeery, kind of floaty, very squishy. Y'all like those high-mo setups a lot, whereas I don't. I like the CDA setups. They're a lot more planted, solid, and even pointier. High-mo is squishy and just a mess. I don't like the high-mo setups as much. Ooh boy, alright, come on. We have a little bit of ground to make up. Alright, 5.5 seconds between us and first place. Let's see if we can get closer. Come on. Alright, let's see here. Alright, we lost about half a second. That's not good. I appreciate the offer, but I'll be fine. I kind of have my own ways to set up the vehicle that I enjoy, and to get it into a way that I like it. Oh, we might be a bit cooked, chat. We might be a little bit cooked. Even with the tires finally starting to get grip. The cars in front of us. We got to hope that they wear out the tires quickly. Which at a track like Laguna Seca is a possibility. There we go. Starting to reel them back in. Oh yeah, with the setup I was running for the V2.4, I can do Blanchimont flat out, no issue. Even later in the stint where the tires are starting to get worn. Like my first stint I did an hour on those tires. And even then, like, I was able to do Blanchimont flat without any off tracks. No issue. Alright, lost a little bit of time again, although compared to the previous lap, we're doing better. Yeah, my setup, I could do Eau Rouge flat pretty consistently. Maybe at the end of a stint, it was like a 1/10 of a lift. But like nothing major. Jeez, fifth and sixth are right up my tail too. Come on. Bring back the gap, close back the gap. The AI are as slow as hell through the corkscrew. So we can go a little bit quicker through there. We're slowly reeling in first, although not quick enough. I take Eau Rouge in 6th. Because I bounce out the rev miller in 5th. Ow, that's my knee. And doing that right through Eau Rouge, or trying to shift right through Eau Rouge, upsets the balance of the car too much. So I short shift just before the slight left-hander, and then I flat out. And I usually gain more time than managing the shift through the Eau Rouge, and it's safer. More planted without any spins or understeer. There we go. Alright, now it's starting to catch up. Now it's starting to gain time. The tires are finally starting to give me grip. And their tires are starting to lose grip as well. I mean, that depends entirely on how fast you're going into Eau Rouge. I get a lot of speed out of turn 1. Stavelot, so you may not necessarily need to take Eau Rouge in 6th, but if you start making your Stavelot better, then Eau Rouge will probably eventually need to be done in 6th. Sorry, Le Soft. What did I say? Stavelot? I don't. It's Belgian. Like their names mean nothing to me. only Belgian I care about is Belgian waffles. MSRP was a little bit different back then. It's French, yeah. French. No one likes the French. Surprised no one's pitting yet. I could have sworn that the leader would probably be pitting like the previous lap. But yeah, it'd be hard to find MSRPs from like the 80s, especially for such a niche vehicle. But you can at least see like used prices and see how the vehicle may elevate. How much it may appreciate. There we go, easy. But yeah, La Sauce. I get a pretty high speed out of La Sauce because I take a much wider turn-in arc. Too many people turn in way too early. I take a much wider arc through there, and that lets me carry a lot more speed. Well, yeah, because they had like only like 200 made, so. So you're probably pretty close then on the widow cost then in the 84. Not too far off anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to spotting GT4s. I have a couple of setups for the AMG. I just hope the start goes a lot better than the Continental Circus one race, as that one was a little bit. I did everything right and I sent it up in the wall. It's like a spa already. I don't know, I still enjoy driving on it, but yeah, shouldn't come up too much off elsewhere. I know at the end of this season I'm gonna be sick of Nords. I'm gonna be sick of Nords at the end of this season. Because V-Track's going to Nords, TGT is going to Nords, and the Sunday series is also going to Nords. Joy! Yeah, probably a bit more expensive then. But still not bad. To be fair, about 6 hours is what I practice, amount of time I practice for about one 1 hour race. Like usually I'm around 6-ish hours per race practice. Maybe a little bit less if it's a track I'm comfortable with, maybe a little bit more if it's like weather conditions are terrible. But yeah. Alright, there we go. I was a little bit worried early on in the race. Thankfully the AI, their cars, they go through tires a lot quicker. They're running a softer compound tire, so it heats up quicker. It gets quicker, but it takes them a lot longer. To, or they get to the pits quicker as well. It takes us a lot longer to heat up, but we can last pretty much the full race. Well, I mean, it's not time spent practicing, it's time spent actually analyzing and thinking and basically playing spot the difference between yourself and those that are quicker. Like, yeah, you can kind of, you know, do hundreds of laps. So if you're doing those laps with mistakes and everything, you're not gonna get better. It comes down to analyzing and then executing, and then training the execution to become the new muscle memory. That's what will allow you to actually, you know, get faster. Practice alone doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. Practice just makes permanence. Comes down to basically developing the full fundamentals and then applying those fundamentals to more advanced techniques and specific corners, figuring out what each corner kind of wants from you. And what you can do for each corner that'll allow you to get the fastest speed on the longest straights. Yeah, track time's a good resource. That's a good start. You can kind of see, compare your analytics, your all of that stuff to those that are quicker, and that'll help out a lot. I don't know. I can't quite do just instincts. Like the first couple of days of practice, it takes me a little bit to get back up to speed. But usually by the end of the week, I'm now considerably faster than I ever once was. Or if not there, at least matching pace. With better consistency and less mistakes. So overall, you know, the analytics and everything helps me out a lot, especially in circuit racing. Where the repetition is kind of part of the vibe, part of how you tackle it. Like here, I'm running like consistent 7, 8, 9. Has all been 135, so I think this may also be a 135. Never mind, a 134, a little bit quicker there. You're following the smart people, and following like the ghosts and everything could also work. But even then, you're gonna have to have a fundamental understanding of, well, why are they quicker? I probably should have adjusted the gear ratio towards more top speed. Well, I've made my bed, I gotta lay in it now. Thing is, I don't want to lose too much acceleration because then I end up losing the rest of the field. Okay. We're actually good. We might be able to do this. First place. Yeah, no, I get that. Different people have different like means of learning. My best possible lap could have been 219, 919. Okay, so you have good sectors. It's just putting them all together lap after lap then. Because 219 is like very solid, like upper AM, lower pro pace at Spa, depending on conditions. Like that is good stuff there. But you need to be able to do that like consistently and basically piece that together for put every single sector into a single lap like that. So basically, you're getting good different sectors at different points of the race, but you're not able to put it all together fully yet. So that'd be the big thing to practice then, is take a look at what your fastest sectors are versus your actual fastest lap, where each occurred and what you were doing during that time, and then try to mimic yourself. And that may be the best way to do that, because it shows you have sparks of like the high pace and everything, but you can't quite put them all together yet, which is a very difficult skill to have. Even I sometimes struggle with that on certain tracks, especially the Zandvoort. Zandvoort I struggle with a lot. But yeah, it's scary. I think I'm in too low gearing to slide at every point. Yeah, you shouldn't be like sliding. That means you'd be killing your tires, and also you're scrubbing speed. It's transversely mounted. Oh, fun. That's a tight squeeze then. Yeah, it's a very tight squeeze. Also, we're gonna be here a while. You know what? Chat, should I turbo mode this? Should I turbo mode this race? The benefits of emulation. Or should we go about it the normal race time? Should we go ahead and add it at 1 time speed or 3 times speed? Character. I'm sure the mechanics working on it have other words to call it other than character. Turn 1 to take it first. I take it first as well. I take a wider line, braking just at the 100-meter board. First gear, run wide. I go just out to the sausage curb on the outside. I do not touch the sausage curb though, but I go all the way out to the sausage curb. Then I set myself up for Eau Rouge and Radion. All the way down the hill to Eau Rouge, short shift to 6th. Maybe a ever so slight lift, cut the curb on the inside to the left. Out on the exit to shave off distance. And the straight line I run on the Camel. The right, left, right at the end of Camel, I am going down into 2nd for the right-hander. I am braking just at the start of the striped curb to the left. I then short shift just after the left-hander up to 3rd to get myself ready for the final right-hander. I make sure after the left-hander I go all the way to the left to set myself for the right-hander, even if I do compromise my line to the left-hander, because the right-hander afterwards, the exit speed is more important there. So I do that, 3rd gear to the right-hander, heading down into where the hairpin is. Alright, here I brake at the start of the curbing to the left-hand side. I keep it in 2nd, and I drop it down to 90 kilometers an hour. Some people take a V line, I like to take more of a U line. Alright. There, I keep it tight inside, and but I do run all the way out to the exit curb. On the exit there. Then a sharp, quickly dart back to the right. Up to 3rd. Graze the brakes just a little bit to get the rotation in for that sharp left-hander. Use as much of the runoff as can on the exits without getting a track limit warning or invalidating. Do not hit the inside curb of that left-hander because you will shoot yourself to the outside. Then I am continuing down to the double left-hander, Puhan I believe it's called, or double gauche or whatever other mess. I can send you my track notes for it. But double gauche, Puhan, there's a red square in the fencing to the right. There's technically 2, but you brake at the first red square. A light graze of the brakes. Alright. And what that does, that light graze of the brakes, you go down to 4th gear if you're not already in it. Light graze to around 170, 165 kilometers an hour. Then out, in, out, in, out. Basically, you treat those 2 corners like one long double apex corner. Alright, you use as much of the runoff everywhere as you can. Do not run the inside curb. Alright, then you have the right, left S's after double gauche. I brake right as the gantry disappears behind the banner on the windscreen. Alright, I go down into 2nd for that turn. Alright, and I set myself up. I compromise the right-hander to set myself up for the left-hander to get a better run out of that. I do short shift the 3rd and the left-hander, and then I am full throttle all the way to just before the start of the curb to the left for the 2 right-handers. First one, I go down to 3rd. I make sure to run out wide to the left. I stay on the runoff, and I use as much of the runoff as I possibly can. I short shift the 4th, the next right-hander. And again, I use pretty much every last bit of the track. No lift, full throttle it. Or if I do lift, it's like a quarter of a lift. All the way, use as much runoff as you can without getting invalidated lap. Because that exit speed there will make or break your run by a good half second. If not more. If not more. then full throttle through the two left-handers, Blanchimont and whatever the other one is. Again, use all the track. And then you set yourself up for the bus stop chicane. I brake just at the 100 or 150 meter board. I can't remember which one. Whatever the first board is. As soon as that disappears behind your A-pillars, you're braking down the first gear. And again, compromise corner. You want to set yourself up so that you get as much of a run out of that second part of the bus stop as you can. I even lower the traction control by 1 in order to get a bit more rotation out of that corner and get the power down more. So if I'm running like 6 TC, I will drop it to 5 for the 3 sharp corners, the bus stop, the bus stop, the final 2 there, and then turn 1 La Sauce. And then I bump it back up to 6 for the rest of the course. Because, you know, yeah, it may wear tires a little bit quicker, but like not to a significant portion, not to significant parts. I like how our tires still literally haven't even gotten any heat into them. That is hilarious. Our tires are like, bruh. I never really split any form of aids. Like driving line and that type of stuff. I don't know, in most sims I try not to use driving line in the vast majority of tracks. I feel like it distracts me from like the actual race. And I end up like target fixated on it. Which means it makes it more difficult for me to like actually race. I mean, GT3 cars are kind of designed for like traction control and ABS in mind, so in those you can lean on them and not have to worry too much. But other vehicles, yeah, it might be worth turning them off. They get like the driving experience and everything. Yeah. Yeah, that is way too low. The electronics in the Merc are one thing that they did update. You went around between like 4 and 6, depending on the track. That is too low. That's probably why you end up underdriving and don't have the consistency. Remember, these vehicles are designed to be used with traction control. So, lean on it. Actively lean on it and you'll get a faster lap. 2 is much too low for a GT3 car. Unless you're in like the Audi or like the Raider or like one of those vehicles where the electronics are absolute dog water. In which case, yeah, you're better off with that being as low as you can safely drive it. Because otherwise, the way they interfere, especially the Audi, like most traction control is kind of like that. Then like the Audi is on off traction control instead of variable traction control. It's that, which ironically makes the vehicle harder to drive because the car's balance is literally being upset by its absolute dog water electronics there. Whatever German program that should feel ashamed of themselves. Yeah, the old Aston's bad for that as well. But in the GT4 cars, you want to run like 1 TC. The GT4s can safely run because they got lower power. They can safely run 1 TC. Plus also their TC, their traction control is a lot less sophisticated than the GT3 cars. So you want like the bare minimum. TC1 in the GT4s is probably the limit. But yeah, that Audi, oh, I hate driving the Audi. The Audi is an absolute piece of shit. I'm not even gonna mince words. It is genuinely one of the worst modern cars in a set of Corsa Competizione. And it's absolute crap. It is absolute crap in iRacing as well. Like, it is. If that is how it actually drives IRL, I do not want. I do not want. That is terrible. Oh, nice. Good running in the Countach. But yeah, in the AMR, what you want to do in the AMR, the V8, is you want to have TC1 as low as possible, and then you're going to max out TC2. So TC2 at 8, TC1 at like 1 or 2. Because then you can lean on it for yaw. You can lean on it for yaw control. But you can, but it's not interfering with the throttle nearly as much. Because TC1 in an Aston is your wheel spin, right? That's what it controls, is how much wheel spin you get. Because of the turbo lag and the smooth power delivery of the Aston, you don't really need to worry about wheel spin. TC2 controls how much yaw and slip angle you have. And there, in order to conserve tires and lean on it and better control the yaw on throttle to kind of get it to bite out of the corners instead of sidestepping or slipping and turning, TC2 you want pretty much maxed. TC1 you want as low as possible, TC2 you want as high as possible in the V8 Vantage. Otherwise the turbo lag is going to be too high, and the higher wheel spin TC is only going to exacerbate that, and then you're not going to get the yaw control that you really need in the Aston to make it neutral out of the corners. Oh, we're halfway there, chat. Whoever thought it was a good idea to do a Vitz race on the test course, a 10-lap Vitz race on the test course. I want to marry the baseball caps to a baseball. I want to marry their kneecaps to a baseball bat. Not just marry, weld, friction weld, due to the collision at such a high rate of speed. It's all part of Kaz's vision. Kaz, you melon. At this rate, we may actually end up lapping the field. We may actually end up lapping the field. Like, we're a little over half a lap ahead now. GT2 TC, it's very similar to the GT4 TC, but you got a lot more power, so you kind of have to suck it up. Basically, you want to run the GT2 TC as low as you can safely run it. So probably, like, for the AMG, probably like 3 or 4. And just really soften the rear R-bar and all that stuff to really get it, you know, stick out of the corners. The Merc's an interesting one. Yeah, 3's probably the safe spot there. Maybe 4 and more acceleration-focused tracks. Things like your Valencia, your Autumn Park, all that stuff. You know, kind of stop and go, very low speed, low surface grip. All of that stuff. All right, we have one straight and basically one half of a turn. So we have 3/8 of a lap to get to them. So this will be interesting. This will be very interesting. We're slowly closing them up though. We might be able to actually lap the field. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. The ST Evo 2 in GT2 BOP trim is one of the consistently quickest cars for GT2, believe it or not. Like, Alex and I literally did testing for it. It's up there. It's one of the quickest. Like that, the KTM and the Maserati are like the top 3 cars for GT2 for most when we were creating that BOP and everything. The only downside of the Super Trofeo is that it kills tires, which is something you do need to manage, especially on like more tire, you know, high abrasion, high tire wear tracks. Things like Misano, things like Valencia, things like, you know, like those types of tracks. That is something you do need to adjust with the setup and kind of take on the chin. But in terms of pure like lap time, the Super Trofeo is among the fastest. Like, it is genuinely quick. Yeah, like, if I would ever do a GT2 series, I'd probably do the AMG, just because I still like those types of cars. I like the AMG. But there is a lot of good options as well in the GT2 class. Minus the Audi. The Audi is absolute dog water. The Audi is terrible. The absolutely broken gear ratios on that one. Oh, chat was struggling. Chat was struggling. We're getting closer though. We are genuinely getting closer. Like, we are gaining about an 1/8 of a lap on them per lap. So if we only have 2/8 on them now. Countach knows gives lights. Yeah. Gotta be careful with that. The wedge-shaped car is not exactly the most aerodynamic. It's trend I see because the Audi GT4 shit. I mean, it's Audi. It's Audi. I don't know what they did or why the cars are so popular in actual IRL racing. But like, in the sims, like the different simulators, holy moly, those cars feel genuinely terrible to drive. And like, I'm usually pretty adaptable. I can adapt to a decent amount of vehicles. Like, yeah, I am a bit more of a front engine specialist. But like, I've driven like the Ferrari 296. I've driven, you know, the Lamborghini, Huracan Evo. I've driven, you know, I've driven the NSX for a couple races as well. Like, I'm pretty adaptable. I do not like the Audis. Hell, I even drove the Porsche 911, the 992 GT3 in an endurance race. And I did okay. I didn't like it, but I did okay. I eventually grew to know the car. I don't like the Audi. The Audi is genuine dog water. Midship specialist. Yeah, you like the extra rotation and grip out of the corners. I like the plantedness and the ability to use the better trail brake on the front engine vehicles. But a miles a gallon is not bad for you know, a Group B car. GG there. Nanya, welcome to the stream. We are almost done the torment that is the Professional League Vitz race at the test course. We're getting there. 1.5 more laps, chat. 1.5 more laps. We are getting there. We are getting there. Come on. Oh, the pain. My hand is literally hurting because I've been just squeezing the trigger down this entire time. I've been alternating fingers to give the rest of my fingers a break. And for me, the front engine cars, it's the AMG, the Aston, and the probably the M4. Yeah, the AMG, the Aston, and the M4 are my top 3 favorite front engine vehicles. It's a 5-seater that'll probably never ever be used as a 5-seater. Whoever actually likes riding on the hump seats? Who actually enjoys riding in the middle seats? No one. No one likes that one. That one is just put there so people can, so the car companies can say, oh yeah, it seats 5. Does it really though? Like, unless it's like a children's booster seat there, like, you ain't really gonna be fitting much. You ain't really gonna be fitting much there. Alright, one more lap, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. I'm not sure we'll be able to catch and pass and lap the rest of the field. I mean, lift back, but in terms of like actual width though, you need a very small person to fit there. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they're cooking for that as well. I've seen the some of the spy shots and everything, and it looks super cool. I wonder what vehicle they're gonna be like basing it off of then. If this is gonna be like coinciding with a, if this is gonna be coinciding with you know, a production car release. Yeah, we do need more gear. I didn't think to adjust that. I probably should have increased the gear ratio a little bit more, or gotten more towards top speed. I didn't think to do that. Oh well. It does its job in most tracks. This is just a little bit of an outlier. And we still win. We're still gonna win. I mean, that's somewhat why, but like still, that's not gonna be comfortable for 5 people. Okay, come on, one more turn. Please let it be over. Almost 30 minutes of this. Yeah, I can't wait to see what the production car looks like. I am excited. The sound of it are great. The pictures, it looks super sleek. I want to see what it can do. I really want to see what it can do. Oh, we can just see the rest of the field. Way off in the distance. They got one more lap to do. Oh, finally. Oh, that was pain. 30 minutes were like one of the lowest payouts per 30 minutes. We've unlocked the new anti-grinding method. Oh, that was pain. Like, you get more money doing the Sunday Cup Super Speedway race over and over again than that race. But hey, the championship will be worth it. Excuse me. The championship will be worth it. Did anyone know of any other trends for supercars? It's not the Mura or the Vector. Technically the NSX. I mean, NSX was supercar performance. The NA1 NSX. That was Transverse, I believe. Yeah, I think the Civetta V16 as well. Sorry, the Zeta V16. I think was also Transverse. I think. I know NSX was Transverse. I'm like 90% sure the NSX was Transverse. Yeah, the Zeta Marotta V16T. I mean, it had performance comparable to the Ferrari 355 of the era. Like for its time, it had supercar level performance. I would say I would hazard to say the NSX is a supercar. I mean, advanced material construction with the aluminum chassis, you know, and had some of the highest potential outputs that it could have of a Japanese vehicle. I mean, if you're looking more like the exotic stuff, that's gonna be a little bit more tricky. Because most of them are usually a little bit longer, are usually designed more so to fit the engine longitudinally. Whereas usually more smaller displacement engines or the V16 was fitted transversely due to the space constraints. Well, it's not that it didn't allow for a V8. It would have been a very underpowered V8. The V6 would have been able to make the same amount of power lighter. But yeah, Japanese law partially as well with the road tax. The road tax as well. Because you don't want the crazy high displacements, because then the car becomes considerably more expensive. Because cars there, as well as in New Zealand, I believe, are taxed based off of engine displacement. Which is why the rotary engine cars are so popular were popular in Japan and in New Zealand as tuner cars. Yeah. Like the gentleman's agreement on power, as well as, you know, the Japanese road tax law would have made a V8 not that much quicker, and just significantly more expensive. But anyway, let's try to get back up with the field. I may need to adjust the gear ratio again for the next race after this one, because we are not getting close to our top speed. Machiavelli, welcome. Hope you're well. Right now, we are trying to get our tires warmed up so we can begin catching back up with the rest of the field. Oh, come on. One more lap and we should be able to begin making some ground on them. There we go, nice and smooth through the chicane. 10 seconds back on first. That's not an issue. Our fronts are starting to get some heat into them. Okay, that was a terrible corner. Could have been a lot better there. But anyway, completely different manufacturers. The V6 is probably the best option for the NSX due to the gentleman's agreements and all of that stuff. Also going for more of a lighter weight design anyway. You can see that with the aluminum chassis as well. So having a larger, heavier engine would have probably ran counter to that design. Modern supercars maybe. Back then, there was more of the V8, flat 12, V12, and V10s that were like the big supercar engines. The NSX is a little bit more of supercar performance with less power, or with less displacement and less cylinders. Because the 355 had a V8, the 550 Barchetta had a V12. The the Viper had the V10. The Mercedes CLK GTR road car was a V12. Like it was pretty. Like the only other, I guess, supercar level performance vehicle during that time was that had less than 8 cylinders was probably like created by Porsche. Yeah, like it had similar like lower block, but like everything else was like heavily modified. It was a cool engine. It was a cool car. I love the driving NSX one day. NA1, NA2, or the third generation. I forget what the chassis code for that one is, but that one would be kind of fun too. Yeah. Alright, easy, easy, easy. Alright, gotta be careful there. That was a little bit rough. Didn't they use that V10 on the Kerber concept? I could have sworn that was the case, but I might be misremembering. Kerber concept, was that V8 or V10? I don't know, the foreign movies and shows being taxed seems kind of not really enforceable. It's not like they get imported, it's just they get broadcasted. I don't know, it doesn't seem, it seems kind of silly. Jimmy, welcome. Yeah, there is, yeah, this one is a little bit different than the GT1 version. No chicane of death. But it is still just as tricky as ever. Oh, okay. So the ones used in the Kerber concept were based off of that V10. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, starting to gain time back. Finally, we have traction. Lap after lap now. We have heat in our tires. At least the front tires. Our rear tires are still ice cold. You'd think the brakes would heat these up, but I guess not. I don't know, I never really liked the chicane of death in the GT1 version. I much prefer the Gran Turismo 3 version. One, you get to see, you know, the what's above ground, and it looks a lot more, you know, a lot more pretty than the kind of gray concrete tunnel of the GT1 version. And two, it flows a lot better, I think. There we go, up there with the field. And everyone's spitting now. Yes, this is the Vitz. This is the Yaris, this is the Vitz. Okay. Shame it wasn't using any production vehicles, but it is what it is. There we go. Alright. Let's use our tire advantage now. Our tires have grip, our tires have maneuverability. Oh boy, come on. Dang, that's a decent amount of power then. Good stuff. Again, a bit of a shame it never made production, but I guess with the financial crisis and everything else that was going on in the late 2000s, it was kind of to be expected. And tightening fuel standards, more expensive operating costs, and people kind of going bankrupt a little bit there. Yeah. But instead, to be fair, the V8 in the GT was absolutely gorgeous. Very, very nice. Very, very nice performance. And then the EcoBoost V6 in the newer GT is also really cool. You know, it kind of has that essence of being, you know, very lightweight, the maneuverability and everything, the modern supercar vibe. Yeah, if you find information on that, sure, let me know. Not that it will really affect me that much because, I don't know, I kind of like older media more than newer stuff. But yeah, definitely gonna affect some people for sure. Yeah, probably was just too expensive to justify then. Compared to using V8s. More tried and true V8s. So it is probably an interesting staple of what ifs. Like, had we not had the financial crisis in 08, we could have seen, you know, a V10 powered Ford sports car. But alas, it was not meant to be. Easy. Yeah, the V8 was probably cheaper to use, easier to upgrade and everything. And probably easier to train like service techs and all that on as well. Service techs, assembly line workers, and all of that, which probably would have made it even cheaper to produce. Because they had so many different V8s at the time and still do. Yeah, unique crankshafts, extra pistons, extra unique camshafts as well. So, it was, I don't know. Again, an interesting what if, but I'm so happy with the V8s we did get though. Though I am sad we never got the Shelby Cobra production car in a modern day format. Because the concept car was so much fun to drive in Midnight Club, Los Angeles. Yeah, it just used more of it, which probably made it more expensive to build. There we go, there we go. Alright, 3 laps to go. Now we get to move on to the final race of this series. Holy moly. I can't believe we spent pretty much an entire stream doing the Vitz races. This has been very toughy. This has been very tough. Ah. So it was probably like, it had a bit of an imbalance there, so it couldn't really rev as high. Maybe? Or you needed like extra weight to balance it. Come on. Easy. Easy through here. Nice. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Through the corners. Ah, okay. They used the firing order to adjust it then. Okay. So they kept the 90-degree cylinder banks, but then the different crankshaft design and firing order allowed it to be better balanced. That's interesting. Okay, okay. Hmm. There we go. Good stuff through there. Alright, coming up on 2 laps to go. We're making this work, chat. We're putting them in the dust. Okay, so that adds up to 144. Yeah, which gives you 72. Yeah, okay. Nice. So it averaged out to the, it averaged out to basically the equivalent banking. It's pretty clever from Ford to do that. Wonder how much more it costs to remanufacture the specialized crankshaft though. Probably less than a completely new block. Okay, our fronts are starting to die a little bit. But we're gonna have one more lap at the end of this lap. So I think we can survive long enough to not have to worry about changing tires. We should be golden. We should be golden. Ah, big rip. So it could have been faster, but it wasn't. Oh man, gosh. I mean, that's around Viper level performance. Thereabouts. So V10 versus V10, that's pretty equivalent then. It's not bad. Like the Viper made what, like 450 in the 2000, something like that. So, you know, and that was like a bespoke. That was a bespoke V10 as well, or like a V10 designed to be a V10, not a V10 designed from V8s. So that's pretty impressive then. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, but that's partially because the Viper was it had a different valve train as well, and had like what, 7 liters. 7, yeah, like 7 liters as well. Oh, that was also designed from a V. Okay, never mind then. So I guess just the crazy displacement. The crazy displacement of the Viper gave it the torque. Come on, not much further. Half a lap to go. And then one more race. And then we get to see what kind of car we get. Hopefully some good cars. Hopefully not another Vitz. I don't want another Vitz. I know it can give us something good. Eight liters, not 7. Okay. So yeah, that's where like a lot of that torque came from then. Low revving, big displacement, lots of air being moved through that engine. Yeah. The absolute asphalt crunching torque that the Viper made. That's why I like the Viper so much. It's just a beautiful machine. It's a machine that technically shouldn't exist but does. And existed for quite a long time as well. Ironically, then that V10 ended up getting used in a truck with the Ram SRT10 as well. So, very nice. There we go. One more race, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ah, Grand Valley. Pretty much. I mean, to be fair, Dodge did have Lee Iacocca at the time as well, which probably played a part in given Iacocca's close involvement with Chobi. Probably played a little bit of a part in them saying yes. Basically saying, hey, I saved y'all with the minivan. Let's let our hair down a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. Let the man cook. And cook he did. Alright, easy, 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 easy. Give me the grip, give me the traction. Yeah, it can be a shrieker. Although I do like the lower rumble of the Viper more so than the higher shriek of the Lambo and Audi V10s. They both sound great, but like the rumble of the V10 is just very nice. Especially got a chance to hear like the ALMS Vipers. Those were really nice. Oh gosh, I'm terrified to hear what it sounded like. This is one of the interiors of all time. It has a steering wheel, it has a seat. It's good, it's a car. I gotta hear that then. That's gonna sound amazing. That's gotta sound amazing. Alright, easy, easy, easy. We're actually staying with the feel despite our tires not really being at the temperature just yet. We're doing pretty good. Alright, we're getting blocked off a little bit on the left there. Whoop. There we go. That's crazy. Oh, the 4-valve head on a V10, an American high displacement V10 as well. It's gotta be interesting hearing that. Oof, hopefully it's well designed and well manufactured then when they kind of patch it all back together. No weaknesses there. Come on. All right, a little bit of a bonk there. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. Cut back to the left. Yeah, it's probably some like more, I guess, backyard mechanics slash group of people. You know, kind of more of a homebrew build. I say bucket seats. I say bucket seats on that. Yeah, pretty much anything designed around the driver should be somewhat good. But like the rest of the interior could be like cheap plastic, you know, fiddly stuff and everything. Nice, getting the crazy numbers out of a home-built engine, basically. Or a home-built mod. That's good stuff, that's good stuff. Alright, come on. Got the top 3 just up ahead of us. Right into the slipstream. And they kind of max out around like 135. So we do have the top speed advantage compared to them. Which is great. Gotta make sure I don't get dive bombed by the black Vitz here. Okay, I'm getting dove in by the gold one instead. Come on, we need to get up there with the rest of the field. We need to get back up there with the leader. We're losing our edge. I'm given how heavy the Lincoln itself was. I can't imagine like it affected the actual driving, like handling profile all that much. But it probably revs a lot more smoothly. It's able to get to a higher RPM as well. And probably makes a little bit more power. Yeah, but even the latest generation was... It was a chunky... It was a chunky one, you know? But I'm sure they probably took that into consideration and beefed up the front suspension a bit and tried to lighten whatever else they could to make it a little bit more drivable. And if not, hey, it's a proof of concept custom fabrication thing. But they ended up removing the all-wheel drive then. Because that could have saved some weight and made them weigh probably comparably. Be a lot of work to remove the all-wheel drive though. But it may be a lot of work to fit a V10 in as well. Yeah, I kind of figured. Easy through here. We're finally at the crossover point where our tires are making more grip than the opponent's tires. Their tires are starting to wear out, our tires are coming into their own. The rears are finally getting heat into them. Yeah, that one is a much heavier steel block truck engine, so much bigger. Much bulkier, much heavier, the truck version was anyway. Alright, we're doing good. Let's see when they pit. We gotta watch ourselves though, because Grand Valley Speedway does have a pretty high rate of tire wear. So we do need to be a little bit careful. 34 pounds is nothing to sniff at for, you know, weight savings and everything. Like, that is still a lot heavier. Like, that's what, like, 10% weight increase? That might not seem like a lot, but that's in engineering terms, that is still pretty significant. Yeah, like if you want to have like more of like a power boat and everything like that, yeah, it definitely works a lot better. But the weight and handling are also things that do need to be considered too. Easy. Such because not that much later, Ford managed to get what 500 some horsepower from the supercharged V8s of the Ford GT. And so, you know, they managed to do well enough with the V8s. Don't need a headliner. It's all right. It's a rally car. Yeah, but then you have to, you know, develop force induction for it and the spacing and the ducting and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm happy with what we ended up getting. It's a cool what if, but I still like the V8s we did get. Come on, let's get through this. I mean, we could have, but then it would have been like competing engines and like two different types of engines for, you know, performance vehicles and everything like that. It doesn't really fit Ford's ethos of, you know, the cost savings while still making good power. That combined with, you know, the financial crisis, the cost of manufacture, it just, a bit unfortunate, but just wasn't meant to be. So I do wonder what technology developed from that engine ended up getting incorporated into later Ford engines. It's a doubt they let it just go, you know, completely to waste. They probably learned something and used that, some sort of manufacturing process or something to develop. Yeah, for V10 it was probably pretty inexpensive. But to still produce versus a V8, probably still a bit pricier. Because you got the extra labor of, you know, per engine, the extra labor per engine of getting everything else installed. The custom crankshafts, you know, the extra components that you are installing, you know, you got 2 extra cylinder banks. So you get the extra labor there. The extra price of the parts. Especially with economies of scale, that does add up a little bit. So you do need to be a little bit careful. Okay, out of the corner. I don't think we're going to do the full race with just our one set of tires. We may have to pit. Alright, they're 35 seconds back. "35 seconds back. Maybe. I don't know. I still prefer the V8. It did its job well enough. Plus, it makes the Viper a bit more of a unicorn as well in the, It makes the Viper a bit more of a unicorn in the American car scene as well. Being, being one of the few, you know, using larger, or using more cylinders in a V8 in its platform. Plus, I'm not sure how well you'd be able to package the V10 in the GT. That'd be a tight squeeze, I think. Be a little bit of a tight squeeze. You might have been able to get it to work. Easy through here. Oh, fronts are really starting to get show their wear. I mean, it was what, probably like an extra like 20% longer. So, yeah. They might have gotten it to fit in a GT. GT was probably a lot tighter in terms of packaging though compared to the Mustang. There we go, nice and smooth. A little bit of curb on exits. Go. Back again to the right. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Just need to keep it going. Even with the tires starting to wear. Even with the tires starting to wear, we're still gaining on the cars behind us. Just goes to show that even worn out tires, when they're warmed up and everything, are a lot better than the cold tires with the super hard tires. You want to run them down to until you can't anymore, because those opening laps when the tires are cold are absolutely dreadful. That's a fair point. Yeah, it's just with the financial crisis and everything, wasn't in the cards. A V10 Mustang would have been too expensive, and doing another, you know, performance supercar right around or just at the end of the Ford GT's life probably didn't financially make sense in the midst of a global economic collapse. There we go. Almost the fastest lap there. So well, the tires are still have the staying power. Our tires still have the staying power in order to keep up the grip and keep the lap times coming. Wonder why they switched to the V8 then. Yeah, the V12 with that one. Where it even used spaceship ceramic parts on the rear exhaust to prevent it from catching fire or melting, because it produced so much heat. I remember that one. Yep. Ford had a lot of interesting what-if concept cars and everything that just never made production. Like you had the supercharged V6 Ford EX off-roader thingy, dune buggy vehicle. You had the Mustang Mach 3, the super sleek version there. You had the Ford FR200 Focus, which was basically an in-house tuner coating, in-house tuner created Ford Focus that was ready for, you know, track and sport driving. You had the Indigo concept, which is a crazy open wheel concept car with a different V12. And they had all kinds of cool stuff. The fact that they made the GT, the 2005 GT at all, is honestly very impressive, given how many other concept cars ended up on the cutting room floor for Ford. So that probably helped reduce costs and manufacturing costs as well, and design costs. As if they were already looking to make an engine for, you know, future high performance Mustangs and everything. That could have done it there. That could have been the reason right there, actually. It's got the uber cheap interior, just enough to make the 200. So y'all can go racing. Alright. Half a lap to go. Through the S's, through the tight corners. I hope we get a good car. If we get a Vitz from the Professional League Vitz race, I'm not sure that's possible. I hope that's not possible. I pray that that is not possible. I hope we get something like the Altezza race car. That'd be honestly really fun. Getting the Altezza race car, because not only would that allow us to do the whatchamacallit, the Altezza one-make race, but it is another race car to have in our repertoire. Alright, come on. There's the finish line just up ahead. Oh, 1 hour of Vitz racing, chat. How do y'all like that? Actually, it was closer to 2 hours of Vitz racing. Holy moly. True, the Ford GT was also an anniversary special. I'm so glad they made it though. Like, the V8 from the Ford GT sounds so nice. Alright, give us a good car. Give us a good car. I'm not looking. I'm looking now. Hey, yo! Let's go! We got the Altezza! That is exactly the vehicle I wanted. That is exactly the vehicle I wanted. The Altezza. Oh, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff then. Time to absolutely bully the competition then. Thank y'all for the GGs. Yeah, going V8 made sense as well. Alright, Altezza raise. Alright, let's see what car we get with this. Oh, I do wish the Amateur League did have the Altezza race car as the vehicle we're going up against. The downside is it's not. Which is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, I'll take it. Oh, I'm sorry. This is genuine. This is genuine bullying, but I'll take some bullying at this stage. Alright, let's complete this as quick as possible. I want to see how fast we can go. Tires already start out as warm at the right temperature. Yeah, it was in the Korean. It was like a Korean touring car series. Although this one, it's much higher power than the one they use in Korea. And much closer to the other LM cars. A little bit more downforce. Oh, the speed though. This would be really, really nice. Boop. All the way up to the curb. Oh, we are committing a bully. This might do well on the JGTC championship in the amateur league as well. This might give them a good fight. I think so. I think that'll be good. Oh, I didn't know that. I mainly knew about the one that raced in Korea, because that one eventually showed up in the Korean version of Gran Turismo 4, as well as in later versions, international versions of Gran Turismo 6 as well, where most other non-Korean people saw it for the first time. I know that one had some of the more aggressive aero. But yeah, some in BTCC, some in Super Taikyu, some in Formula Drift and D1 Grand Prix and everything. Yeah, the little screamer. Would have been fun to hear some of those. Midnight, welcome to the stream. Hope you've been well. So I bet you like the Aston Martin Valkyrie as well. That one that's currently racing in IMSA and WEC. That one sounds really good. I'm looking forward to hearing that at the Watkins Glen IRL later this week. Oh, not this week, this year. Just doing more GT5 B spec. Oh, why do you do this to yourself? Why were you doing that to yourself? Drew Logano went to? Oh, what was there a NASCAR race? I feel like the Robertson 4 GT. Yeah, that one is a nice one as well. Yeah, I'm sorry the Miami GP was a bit of a wash. The early race had a bit of drama, but then later race was kind of mid. I'd like to see IndyCar race at Miami. IndyCar needs a race between St. Pete and Thermal Club in order to kind of prevent the hype from dying down on the new season. So that would be a fun race for IndyCar. Plus, also get more racing at Miami as well, to maybe allow them to kind of see how to improve the course and everything. I got the space to do it. I don't know, this season's been interesting. Red Bull kind of struggling a little bit. The McLaren inter-driver rivalry. That's so fun. It's just different kind of fun, I guess. Although this year has been a little bit less fun than previous years. But that's what makes the good years really good. It's not every year. It comes naturally based on like regulation changes and all of that. Big rant, but anything. Hopefully he wins, and hopefully he does well. But I like the engineering that goes into a lot of the F1 cars as well. Like that is always really cool. Kind of reading up on like the new ways they try to get around like the loopholes and everything, the new aero, the new technology and everything. Yeah, hopefully the new engine regs will be good as well. Could be cool to see. Wait. We got more money from a shorter amateur league Altezza race than we did from a longer professional level. Professional level Vitz race. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I mean, yeah, you can read it, but you get to see it in action. You get to see how the engineering actually affects, you know, the vehicles and everything. Yeah, you can read it, but actually seeing it reinforces and seeing it actually demonstrated is cool. Easy here. Alright, come on. I want to see how fast you can go. I'm kind of sad. I don't think we will use this in the beginner league Altezza race. I think after this we may go and at least start the JGTC amateur league race championship and maybe do a couple races there before we end the stream. It's gonna be ending at around like 11-ish. Yeah, a higher revving V6. Or something along that lines could be pretty cool. Like I said, I am looking forward to seeing what the new regulations in 2026 brings. Because usually that results in a pretty big shakeup of the teams as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Ice-T, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Right now we are in the Altezza series, and we are kind of bullying the rest of the field, but bullying is fun sometimes. Yeah. Although if they go to like a synthetic biofuel or like, you know, like a net zero fuel or closer to net zero fuel, that may allow them to then open up those restrictions to run higher RPMs again. Especially if they continue to try to go for smaller and smaller displacements. That may allow them to run them at higher RPMs and use similar amounts of fuel, which will then give it the better sound. Maybe. I just want to see the cars even smaller and even lighter. Yeah, they use a little bit of that, but like going, like it's like like maybe like 10-20% of, or like a smaller amount of the fuel they use in it. But like going full like the biofuel and everything, where the carbon that goes into make, you know, that it takes out of the atmosphere when it's being made is equal to the carbon that goes back out when it's burnt and everything. The net zero would be pretty cool. Easy, easy, easy through here. There we go. Yeah, I'd love to see that happen. It'd be pretty cool. Especially if like economies of scale and everything like that allow it to be produced at a higher level for a cheaper price. That may allow people to, you know, enjoy their fun cars more without, you know, forced electrification. Give people the option and everything. Jeez, only 500 horsepower. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Hopefully that allows them to, you know... Hopefully it'll allow them to, you know, run a car a bit later and everything. Although I do worry for like high-speed tracks like Spa and Monza. Like they may run out of they may run out of battery when they come out straight and everything. If they're using that much on the electric side of things. Yeah, the high-speed tracks would be tricky for sure. Tighter technical tracks, you may start seeing more tighter technical tracks if the cars get smaller again due to regulation changes in order to better use the electric vehicle, the electric side of things, which could be interesting. Going back to tracks like the Nürburgring GP or like yeah, that type of stuff. Interior's done. Oh, at least the car's complete now. That's good. But yeah, with the power being lower, it's a bit of a hit on lap times. But like, I still think it could lead to better racing. They just. I don't know, I'm willing to see what happens, see if it works. All I know is the cars nowadays, especially during the late 2010s, they were just way too big. Like the fact that they were like almost as large as certain trucks and SUVs in terms of length is a little ridiculous. Like I remember, this might be nostalgia talking, but like I remember watching F1 during like the 2000s, and the cars were so much smaller. Nowadays, even with the shorter maximum length regulations and everything in the current ground effect era, Like, the cars are still huge. Yeah, an Indy car is making what, like around 650-ish? So you don't necessarily need more power and everything. Yeah, I imagine with like the extra advanced aero and everything on the F1 cars, they're a lot more planted. There's probably a lot more going on in the F1 cars versus the Indy cars. That even if not driver aids per se, definitely make the vehicles a lot more stable and controllable. Yeah, aero, the advancements in yeah, all of that stuff. But basically, you have a spec engine, spec chassis versus, you know, full-on bespoke design with the aero, chassis, engine, all of that stuff. So, you know, IndyCar is designed more for cost savings. F1's designed more so for, like, you know, pure engineering battles. It's still great though, I like watching both. Oh, the speed of this vehicle is amazing. Tire compound probably plays a part in that too, given the lower grip compounds that the Firestone tires run versus the higher grip Pirellis that F1 runs. That might also play a factor into it. Yeah, the Indy cars are smaller and have a much less in-depth hybrid system. So, you know, you don't need all that weight on electronics and everything. I don't know, it'd be cool to see F1 go smaller and lighter again. Combine that with the ground effect era and everything, and you got a recipe for good racing. More power for the next-gen Indy cars, you said? Could be interesting, could be cool. As long as it produces good racing, I'm down for it. Wonder where they'd have the space to put the intercoolers for the packaging. Because already the engine themselves are pretty, they do run a little bit on the hotter side, so a lot of that space on the side, the air pods, are a little bit more, like a lot of that's already being used up for engine cooling. Running an intercooler there as well may be, maybe a little bit tricky. Unless they completely redesign the aero package for the next gen to allow for additional cooling features. Yeah, because you're effectively raising the amount of air you're putting into the engine. Because the air gets denser in the intercoolers after being compressed by the turbochargers. Yeah, I do hope the new chassis comes soon. The DW, the DW12 has kind of, it's showing its age. I'm not gonna lie, it is definitely showing its age. We need a new chassis soon in IndyCar. Like, yeah, we've bolted on and modified as much as we can with it. And honestly, it is a testament to Delara's engineering prowess that we've managed to produce great safe racing for this long with the DW12 chassis. But yeah, it is a 13-year-old chassis. It is showing its age. Like, we are reaching the limits of what we can kind of do with it. There we go, nice and smooth. One more lap. There we go, new fastest lap as well. That's the good stuff. Alright, easy through here. Come on, big push now, big push. All the way through the course. And then we'll have, what, 2 races left for the Altez Championship. And then we could probably get a race or 2 in to start the JGTC Championship. Yeah, hopefully during that time as well, IndyCar fixes, improves their marketing. They're already starting to with some of the driver spotlight videos. Fixes the gap in the schedule between the first race at St. Pete and the second race at Thermal. Either a race at Mexico City or like Miami, either Homestead Miami or like Miami Autodrome or something like that. And you know, continues with the you know, making good broadcast decisions and everything. And I make Sabo jokes now? I guess. Not really. I'm not really playing Midnight Club, but okay. The big thing though with making the cars smaller, lighter, with more power is balancing economics, especially for a spec series like IndyCar, as well as driver safety as well. Those are the 2 big factors that kind of contribute to lower power and larger vehicle size, is cost savings and driver savings. Oh, there we go. Tokyo Route 246. There we go, big push. Right from the get-go, great launch. Not that we really needed a great launch. Yeah. They're trying to basically do the best they can with what they got. Although, again, if the series becomes more popular, you get more people consistently watching it, going to the races and everything. That allows for bigger sponsors, that allows for more money, which then allows for the cooler, you know, the faster, lighter vehicles and all of that as well. So hopefully. Hey, I mean, if you do have the money and you do have an IndyCar race that does happen somewhat close to you, you know. 900 horses. That's quite a bit. Cool, they finished. Nice, congrats, man. Good job on doing the car. Good job completing the car. Alright, come on, big push, big push, big push. Oh, the lap times are so much quicker than in the Vitz race. I like this. I like this so much. Boom. Yeah, which probably does allow them to run richer without, like, you know, the environmental concerns and everything. Which allows them to make a little bit more power. Or at least without as much environmental concerns. There's always going to be some level of environmental concerns with any type of racing. But at least lessen the impact. Alright, come on. Ooh. Oh, the speed, the downforce this car has is so good when I'm not driving it into a wall. Ignore that, chat. Wonder how close to 100% completion we're at. We gotta have like probably around 30%. Oh dang, so even the logistics is being improved. Nice. Very, very nice. Come on. Good stuff, good stuff. 3 to go. And then one more race after this at Côte d'Azur. Japanese sporty-ish vehicles. Around Monaco's streets. Like, normally I'd expect like more kind of like a European sports cars or other high-end vehicles. Nope. Toyota, Lexus IS300s and Toyota Altezas. Racing around Monaco. Okay. I mean, it'd be really cool if that was true. Hopefully it's true. Nice and smooth through the double right-hander. Come on, coming up on 2 laps to go. Oh gosh, it's almost 11. It do be almost 11. Jeez, okay. Look at how long some of the Gran Turismo championships are. Like, we still haven't even touched any of the rally events either. Or the arcade mode. Oh, we got a ways to go to 100%. That'd be a fun project. I don't know, right now, I need to work on getting space for a project before I can even get a project. The joys of townhome living. And cozy, well within my financial means, but, makes it a little bit tough to work on projects. No space, you know? Yeah, the downside of swapping in with it's not really swapped in that much is a lot of times you gotta do a lot of the fabrication and wiring and everything all by yourself. So I do wish you the best of luck with that, because that is for some of that stuff you may be a little bit more on your own unless you find someone else that may have done some documentation on what all is required. Yeah, projects, as fun as they are money pits. But yeah, no, I like the financial stability. especially in turbulent times, really helps have a little bit of peace of mind. So if shit is a fan, you know, I'll be okay for a bit. Right, the 3S. Oh, okay, yeah. Installs automation. Builds one car. Leaves, uninstalls automation. Oh yeah, the RS200, right. That one had it. I wonder what all electricals and everything you need to fit into it to make it work. Like mechanically, it would work pretty well. You need to get the electricals and get it talking to the ECU and everything. Or get the ECU from the RS200 as well. Probably. Cause that's the fun part, is getting everything to talk to each other with engine swaps. I should know. I've done a few for friends in my day when I'm in my younger years. And it was never fun trying to diagnose those. You're like, alright, it works. Do not touch it because it may not work afterwards. And I'm only half joking. Most of the time it works. It just required a lot of documentation. Yeah, maybe. Might be worth diving into the forums and stuff and seeing other people's experience. See if anyone's done that swap themselves. Because even if you can find one or two other people online that have done it and have like the resources and the steps documented, that makes it so much easier for you. Because then you have some level of you know, resources to go off of instead of trying to trailblaze yourself. Oh, don't hop the curb. Oh, speaking of which, this weekend is the Formula E Monaco Grand Prix. That was pretty fun to watch, actually. Some really good racing. Oh yeah, Imagination Dream stuff. Like, for me, I'd love to swap a 13B RAW from the FD RX-7 into a Miata. Like that would be fun. As like a street car, like a street tuned vehicle. That would be very fun. Yes, I know technically Mad Mike Woodette has already done the. Yeah, like the one GT300 Miata, or like the oh, I forget which one it is, but the Miata Mad Mike Woodette drift car. Yeah, I even read up online. There's a few people that have done it, but it's you needed a bit of custom fabrication to get things to work. It's doable. But it does require a little bit of finagling. And you can generally make more power by just turbocharging. Wait, there actually is a kit for it. Hey yo, let's go. There wasn't a kit for it last time I looked. Last time I looked online, back in like the mid-2010s. I didn't see a kit, so that is good. Go nice and smooth through these Monaga streets. Yeah, but I did find a couple of wiring diagrams of someone who had done the swap before as well. Where how you kind of splice in the electronics and everything and make it kind of think it's doing the right thing. There are those ways around it. I don't have the diagram saved anymore, but I have seen a couple of like Miata forum posts that did showcase the different ways you can wire it up, depending on what you want to do with the rotary, or what rotary you're using, whether it's the naturally aspirated or turbo, as well as how you want it built up. Alright, good stuff all the way through. Come on, big push all the way through here. Final race. Oh, the Miata Coupe. That's a rare one to find. I'd almost feel like sacrilege, like heavily modifying an already kind of rare Miata. Like I'd take one of the more common Miatas if I can find one to swap the rotary in. But the Miata Coupe is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, those are very rare. Fun fact, they are featured in the later Tokyo Extreme Racer games. Mainly Kato Racer and Drift 2. Which is really cool. Which is a really cool vehicle to be featured. Having one that's very, very rare. Wouldn't do anything to it that couldn't be rare. Okay. So main like both one stuff. There we go, nice and smooth all the way through the corners. Oh, I absolutely love Monaco. It's one of my favorite street circuits. Yeah, 13B is very, very compact, so you don't gotta worry about space. In that aspect, you're all golden. I think you could probably reroute the exhaust as well, so you wouldn't need to cut anything there. So you'd be fine in that aspect. There we go, full speed, full ascend. Three to go, 3 more laps. This might actually be the final race of the night. I'll start the JGTC race next time we stream this game. But I mean, we got three championships done. I'm quite happy with that. I'm very, very happy with that. I get to see what kind of prize cars we win. Don't have much left on the beginner league as well. Amateur league's about halfway done. So we just need endurance and professional to start, you know, really bringing things in. Reinstalling Minecraft, nice. Yeah, it does kind of have a little bit of the Jaguar vibe, but that might be because Ford did have some level of influence over both Mazda and Jaguar at the time. So they may have influenced, resulted in some convergent stylistic choices. Alright, 2 to go. We're getting close to lapping the field. Yeah, it was Japan only. But I mean, given the resources that Ford kind of gave Mazda and everything, and the kind of controlling ownership that they had with Mazda, Jaguar, and like Aston Martin as well, it probably may have played a little bit of influence. Or it could have just been the style at the time. There we go, lap cars. Blue flags, flasher lights, flasher lights. It was like tying an onion to your belt. It was a style at the time. Yeah, it looked really sleek. I liked it a lot. Although I prefer the later Jaguar. What? Okay, that was new. All the Mazda speed with the turbocharger and everything. That'd be nice. That'd be very nice, actually. Posted the finish back then in Discord. I'll have to check that out at the end of the stream. going all out on the performance mods then. Jeez, very nice. Down in the second gear. Keep the maneuverability strong. I'm not sure why the car just randomly bogged down there. Yeah, it was during like the tuner craze during the early 2000s. A lot of American companies were like, you know what? What if we do develop things for Japanese cars? Like even Edelbrock was developing things for like certain Nissan and Toyota cars in the early 2000s for like the burgeoning import drag scene. Alright, take care, JB. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Yeah, the Mazda speed kit with the wing on it as well. Yeah, that was nice. There we go, there we go. Ooh, send. Boom. That would look really nice on the coupe. Price there wasn't like a one-off made for that. There we go, 30 grand. Alright, close my eyes. Give me a good car, give me a good car. I mean, I'll take the Chaser. The Chaser's a nice car. I don't really have much use for a Chaser right now, but I'll take the Chaser. The Chaser is nice. I quite like the Chaser. See you tomorrow? Not tomorrow. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I will be streaming Tuesday with more Battle of the Gay Tony, and then Wednesday with the Midnight Club prize car only challenge. But yeah, those would be the next 2 streams. How much am I done? 43%. Okay, I'm a lot closer to completion than I thought I was. I'm a lot closer to completion than I thought I was. We're getting closer to the elusive 50%. And we're getting ever closer to yet another 100% completion. So I am looking forward to that. That'll be very fun. But I'm going to be ending the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what you're doing well in the comments down below. If you didn't like the stream, please let me know what I'm poorly so I can fix it in the future. With that being said, I've been Isaac Umbras, and wherever you're in the world, whatever it is for you, may it be a great time, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Till then, take care everybody. Bye bye!